I know this lighting is probably bad. I should turn that light off, but I'm already on the ground and situated, so that's not gonna happen. Anyway, today is September 5th. It's Thursday. I have not picked up the camera once this week, or the phone, whatever, to talk to you, to capture any footage, to even post on Instagram. I was on a really good streak last week, and now I'm not. And I hate it. I hate that I am not creating. I haven't posted on my main channel in like 2 months. I keep getting behind on vlogs. Let me also take my hair down because I kind of look like a boy. I keep getting behind on vlogs. I've been meaning to film a life update vlog for weeks. Like literally weeks. Because I was going to sit down and do it with Tyler and we just haven't done it. So then that's delayed me on putting up the other vlogs that are subsequent to that. We've had trouble finding a trailer. That is kind of our goal of how we're moving out without spending way too much money on renting an apartment just to see our money go away. I've been working, which is good. It's so nice having an income again. Like literally, I got paid today and it's awesome. I love seeing higher numbers in my checking account. It's good. And then I can put more into savings and I can start saving money to pay off loans and to hopefully get a new car. Like, good. Basically, this whole vlog is going to be about this freaking magazine, okay? Now, I'm assuming most of you are familiar with Chip and Joanna Gaines. If not, that's Joanna Gaines. They are most known for their show Fixer Upper, which I've watched like here and there. Like, you know, I'm into like DIY and home improvement and decor, but I'm not very good at it, and I really only get into it when I'm planning on like moving into a new space or doing a project or something like that. Well, we were into grocery shopping earlier this week, and I mean there's magazines always at the checkout line, but I normally don't even notice them. But for whatever reason, I saw the Magnolia Journal with Joanna on the front, and I was like, I just want that magazine. Like, I don't know. I mean, aesthetically, I was like, wow, that's so nice. I want it. But then once I actually started looking at what was in the issue, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to get it. It was like $8. And I think I'm going to ask for a subscription for Christmas because they're a really cool quality magazine with like recipes and home stuff and like random stories from Chip and Joanna and their team and like, you know, obviously interior design type elements. Really cool. But what I'm sharing in the vlog this week, today. Last night, I finally opened the magazine and wanted to like flip through it. And I decided to read the letter from the editor, which is always at the beginning of the magazine. And I got reading it and I was just like, I needed to hear this. So I'm going to share it with you because you might need to hear it too. As now it's September, we're getting into fall, which is my favorite, but it's also the end of the year. We're getting into holiday season soon, which is nuts. It's absolutely crazy. I want to read parts of this to you because I needed to hear it, and it just fit so perfectly with all the like struggles that Tyler and I have been trying to overcome to get to the point we're trying to get to. Okay, I'll start here. Whether it's intentional or not, in the fall, we start to shore up our footing as we enter the final months of the year. There's a quiet confidence to this season that year after year harvests the promises that we made in spring, or it made in spring. Fall reminds us how much of its beauty would not exist if it weren't for the many months of preparation that came before, the rising of spring and the growth of summer, that it requires to provide the abundance we experience during these next few months. How essential each season is to the rhythm of nature is a lesson in wholeness that I gratefully receive. So this entire issue, like the title, is In Pursuit of Wholeness, and in the front it's got happiness marked out. It says wholeness instead. Let me continue and you'll understand where I'm going. The story that the seasons tell inspired our team's curiosity about what wholeness means for us. During a few early conversations around the office, I noticed that the word whole led some people to associate the idea of wholeness with a flawless state of being, unmarked, without a blemish or crack of any kind. In a word, perfect. As I thought this over, I could see where the threads that weave this kind of perception might begin. I think our culture has made it natural to perceive our identity from a place of lack instead of a place of abundance. It's not uncommon for us to evaluate who we are based on all that we are not or not yet. But it's actually through the lens of wholeness that I think we can glean the clarity necessary to see ourselves as all that we already are. To me, there's a grace woven into the very fabric of wholeness that invites us to live in the abundance of our story. That every piece of our identity, the broken, the sad, the hard, just as much as the fulfilled, the good, the happy, is stitched together to make us complete. Inviting into our lives the entire palette of human emotion is not always easy. Somewhere along the road to adulthood, it felt simpler to leave behind a willingness to allow sadness to wash over us, to sit in grief, to invite disappointment to linger while we contemplate where it's really coming from. In its place, many of us picked up a resistance to shield anything that might make us feel less than happy. I don't want it to come across like I don't believe in happiness, because I do. But when it becomes the sole pursuit of our daily lives, I can't help but wonder what we might be missing out on in the process. The potential to learn more through our failures, through our sadness and grief, about who we are and all that we can offer this world. It seems to me that we can go through life taking half steps and inhaled breath, or we can lean into the fullness of who we were made to be, for better or worse. That's a life lived in pursuit of wholeness, and that's what we're celebrating in this issue. Whether this year has left you feeling fractured or torn and in need of being stitched back together, or you're living out the season with a background of plenty, I hope you're able to see that all of life is neither completely merry nor completely tragic, that there are joyful seasons and heartbreaking seasons and also mundane seasons, and that to be whole is to embrace every one of them. As summer fades into autumn and you begin to take stock of yet another year of life lived, I hope you're able to see that the tapestry of your own life is made infinitely more beautiful by the story of each season. So, bits and pieces that I took from that were just embracing seasons. I mean, I think this is a message that's been shared through multiple platforms from multiple different people in various genres and niches and industries and whatever. That we have to embrace every single season of life that we go through. But what really stuck out to me in that letter from the editor was the mention of enjoying the whole process, and instead of focusing on the negativity and the frustration and the irritation and sadness and defeat that Tyler and I are feeling right now, instead we should flip that around and be looking and feeling the positivity of the fact that we're even at a place where we're able to consider doing this. The fact that I'm here with him, we're no longer long distance, we have such a freaking amazing dynamic as a couple, and I can't wait that we get to continue growing through this. And we're balancing each other out, and we're learning each other, and it's incredible. Like, I'm happy to be in this place. So instead of focusing on the frustration of not having the perfect job or not being able to move out right now, we need to realize, like, wow, we're actually at this point where we're starting to do this, and we're together, and we're able to even consider putting a down payment on a trailer and living that lifestyle of not having to pay for an apartment and seeing all of our freaking rent just disappear. I'm trying to adopt a dog eventually if we can get a trailer, and that's like stressing me out because this dog could be up for adoption potentially this weekend, and if he is, then I probably won't be able to adopt him because we don't have a trailer. This freaking dog, guys, I shouldn't talk about it because I don't know that it's gonna happen, but I have wanted a Siberian Husky all through college. I was like, I don't know, I've bounced back and forth about what breed I want for a long time, but I've pretty much always gone back to Huskies, and I want to rescue one. And I've always had this vision, here we go with expectations, But I always had this vision of an all-white male husky with like bluish gray eyes, right? That's been my vision of what I wanted to try to find, but not going to a breeder, by actually rescuing. Lo and behold, there's a rescue who has that exact description of a 4-month-old, probably 5-month-old now, husky that has some sort of bone deformity in his front legs, where his front legs are short. And he has an appointment tomorrow to go to an orthopedic veterinarian to see whether or not they need to do any sort of corrections for him, since he's at such a young age, and they may be able to help him somehow. But they're not really sure how this deformity occurred, whether he was born with it or if he had some sort of traumatic injury that like stunted his growth plates or made them fuse too early or something. I don't know, but he has an appointment tomorrow, so he could potentially be available for adoption this weekend, which, like I said, makes me nervous because we don't have a trailer yet. But, you know, it is part of it. And the fact that I can even potentially adopt a dog and raise a dog, and I'm at the point in my life that I'm like confident to do that, is pretty cool. And while there's still a lot of weird life changes that I haven't entirely wrapped my head around, and there's still a whole lot of life to live and work toward and struggle through, I don't know. I want to stop looking at the negative side. I've always been a negative person. Always. I always have been. I'm such a pessimist. But I want to try and really start looking at the negative situations and seeing, like, the beauty that's in that, and the fact that like we're even going through that struggle, that alone in some weird way is actually such a beautiful thing, that we can go through and feel these struggles and deal with them and overcome them and grow together, or individually, or however your own situation may be. Realize that the struggle you're having is actually a blessing, because you have grown so much into the person you are and the person you're becoming, that you're actually able to face these struggles and have these struggles, and it's a sign of growth. It's not a sign of life sucking, even though it might feel that way. So, I don't know. That's my little message for this week. I don't know. I just wanted to share that because I'm trying really hard to get back into more of a positive, creative, inspired mindset, because for the past 3 to 4 weeks, I've not felt that way. And I've been sitting on video projects for months, and I don't know what is stopping me from getting out there and getting them published and editing and just sitting down and editing. That's all I have to do. But for some reason, I'm like scared to look at the footage that I got. It's like I'm afraid that it's not going to be what I expect it to be. But expectations are so deceitful sometimes, honestly. And that's what harms us, and that's what makes the struggle seem worse, is because our expectation is so high that we're missing the awesomeness that the reality actually is. We're missing the awesomeness of reality because we're setting these expectations that aren't reality. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm rambling. I don't know. This has been a 14-minute clip. Go check out the Magnolia Journal if you so wish. Like, honestly, some of these spreads are absolutely gorgeous, and there's a whole lot of delicious fall recipes in this one. This magazine comes out quarterly, $20 a year-ish, I guess. So when Black Friday rolls around, I'm getting myself a subscription. You freaking bet. I don't know. And plus, like, it's a freaking awesome coffee table magazine if you still have a coffee table. I have a feeling that we are going to have our trailer by the end of September. Like, September is a big month. I can feel it. My birthday is this month. I feel like we're going to have a trailer. I feel like I'm going to get back into a creative mindset. September is going to be good. It's a changing of seasons, changing of mindsets, and a season of inspiration. Woo-hoo!